Good evening, class. My name is Michael Gardner, and today I'll be presenting to you my presentation on Buddhism and meditation. Buddhism is a path of practice in spiritual development leading to an insight into the true nature of reality. Meditation is a key aspect of Buddhism. Meditation is seen as a mental and physical course of action that a person uses to separate themselves from their thoughts and feelings in order to become fully aware. Furthermore, Buddhism is a rejection of the Vedic religion, developed by Buddha in the 1500s BC in northeast India, which expanded eastward, becoming the dominant religion of Southeast Asia. Moreover, Buddhism is based on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Buddhism is a religion that is practiced worldwide. In fact, it is believed that as many as 535 million people around the world practice this religion, which would represent 8 to 10% of the world total population. The image on the right shows the worldwide population. Since its birth in India about 2,500 years ago, Buddhism has spread throughout the globe. As Buddhism reached new areas, its followers developed their own regional identities and understandings of Buddhist geography. South Asia, and specifically the sites associated with the historical Buddhist life, have remained a conceptual center for many Buddhists, but the near disappearance of Buddhism from the subcontinent in the 13th century allowed Buddhists in the regions to overcome their borderland complexes and identify sacred Buddhist sites in their own lands. This involved the transfer of sacred sites from South Asia to new places and the creation of new sacred sites, such as the reliquaries for the remains of local saints and the mountains, seen as the abodes of Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. By the 19th and 20th centuries, colonial encounters introduced Buddhism to the West and created categories of national Buddhisms, which led to new visions of Buddhist geography and regionalism. Buddhism ultimately spread to Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Laos, China, Japan, and Korea. What is unusual about Buddhism is that the religion disappeared. Buddhism spread from India and then vanished from India. Most other religion hearths of the world are still intact as powerful centers from which the faith grows. The main spiritual leader of Buddhism is the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama is the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism and the traditional bodhisattva. He has spent his life committed to benefiting humanity. On the right is image 3, which showcases the 14th Dalai Lama. It is important to understand the main spiritual leaders of Buddhism, although who are the prophets of Buddhism? Buddha is not seen as the first prophet of the religion, but as the fourth prophet of Buddhism. There are two main doctrines in Buddhism, Mahayana and Hinayana. Mahayana Buddhists believe that the right path of a follower will lead to the redemption of all human beings. The Hinayana believe that each person is responsible for his own fate. Along with those doctrines, there are other Buddhist beliefs like Zen Buddhism from Japan and the Hindu Tantric Buddhism from Tibet. Zen Buddhism is a mixture of Buddhism as it arrived from India to Japan and the original Japanese beliefs. The Hindu Tantric Buddhism is a mixture of Indian Buddhism and the original Tibetan beliefs which exist among the Tibetans before the arrival of Buddhism in Tibet, amongst its magic, ghosts, and tantras. Buddhist sacred texts, the sutras. The Buddhist canon consists of the sutras, the words and the teachings of Buddha. There are also a number of non-canonical Buddhist texts that provide supplementary teachings, rules of conduct, and commentary on transitional states after death. The Tripitaka, Mahayana Sutras, and the Tibetan Book of the Dead are three major non-canonical Buddhist texts. The Pali Canon, which means the word of Buddha, includes some of Buddha's discourse, but it also incorporates the teachings of his pupils. Different sects of Buddhism follow canonical and non-canonical scriptures to varying degrees. Now I'll be going through Sire's 7 questions. Question 1. What is the prime reality, the really real? Reality in Buddhism is called Dharma, known as Sanskrit, or Dhamma, known as Pali. This word, which is foundational to the conceptual frameworks of the Indian religions, refers in Buddhism to the system of natural laws which constitute the natural order of things. Dharma is therefore reality as it is known as Yatha Bhutata. In regard to Eastern pantheistic monism, a Buddhist would say that reality is a hierarchy of appearances. Some appearances or illusions are closer than others to being at one with the One. Matter, pure and simple, is the least real, then vegetable life, then animal, and finally humanity. But humanity too is hierarchical. Some people are closer to unity than others. The perfect master, the enlightened one, the guru are the human beings nearest to pure being. Question 2 is, what is the nature of external reality, that is, the world around us? From a Buddhist perspective, God is the cosmos. God is all that exists. Nothing exists that is not God. If anything that is not God appears to exist, it is maya, illusion, and does not truly exist. In other words, anything that exists as a separate and distinct object, that is, a chair, a desk, a tree, a rock, is just an illusion. Atman is Brahman, that is, the soul of each and every human being, is the soul of the cosmos, which is ultimate reality. Atman is immortal and eternal. Brahman is the world soul, or cosmic soul. It is the eternal essence of the universe and the ultimate divine reality. Question 3 is, what is a human being? And from an Eastern pantheistic monism perspective, each person is the whole shooting match. Each person is, to put it boldly but accurately in Eastern terms, God. Question 4 of Sire's 7 questions is, what happens to a person after death? Now, in Buddhism, death is the end of an individual, personal existence, but it changes nothing essential in an individual's nature. After death, one attains oneness with Brahman. The 5th question is, why is it possible to know anything at all? Now, Sire mentions that understanding is beyond knowledge, beyond language, and beyond logic. In regard to beyond knowledge, it is, to realize one's oneness with the cosmos is to pass beyond knowledge. The principle of non-contradiction does not apply where ultimate reality is concerned. Brahman is without duality. Only acceptable knowledge is through meditation. In regard to beyond language, true knowledge is experiential. In regard to beyond logic, logic is dysfunctional and Brahman is not. Question 6 is, how do we know what is right and wrong? To realize one's oneness with the cosmos is to pass beyond good and evil. The cosmos is perfect at every moment in existence. In Buddhism, moral goodness is also encouraged. Furthermore, good and evil has distraction and Brahmas does not. Moreover, a key aspect of Buddhism that relates to right and wrong is that karma is cause and effect and is universal in Eastern thought. The final question, question 7, is, what is the meaning of human history? Now, from an Eastern pantheistic monism perspective, it is to realize that one's oneness with the One is to pass beyond time. Time is unreal. History is cyclical. Furthermore, progressive events are not true. History is recurring in respect to reincarnation, and history is valuable only as a myth. Thank you for listening to my presentation on Buddhism and meditation. These are the references that I have used for this presentation, and feel free to leave any comments or questions in the comment section. Thank you.